Hey guys, Vickie Evans here, and I want to show you a really cool feature in Outlook called FindTime. Now, this is an add-in for Microsoft 365 users, and it will save you so much time and so much frustration when you're trying to figure out when people can meet. So let's check this out. In fact, I just used it this week with a mastermind group, and we're trying to get 10 people together to figure out when our next mastermind meeting is going to be. And instead of emailing back and forth, we used FindTime. And actually, this is the result of the FindTime poll. Now, on the screen, I'm not going to zoom in because I want to protect the privacy of our mastermind group, but you can see green check marks and red X's. Obviously, green means that that's a perfect day for someone to meet, and red means no, they have a conflict. Now, you also see here that I have several people that have not responded. So rather than wait for them to respond, we're going to go ahead and book the meeting. And we're going to pick the date that most people could attend, because it's going to be nearly impossible to get all of us together every single time. So we just pick the date that most of us can be there. Now, the alternative to this would be to email the group and everybody reply all to let us know what days they're available. And you know how long that's going to take and how frustrating it might be to collect all the information and sort it out. So let's talk about the two different types of meetings that you might set up. So the first one is going to be a meeting from your calendar, meaning that once you set up the meeting, once there's consensus, it's actually going to come from your calendar. And then the other scenario would be that you are helping out, you're kind of the meeting organizer, and you're helping book the meeting, and you're going to get consensus for the group, but it's actually going to come from somebody else's calendar. And that's what this scenario was. I was helping out our mastermind leader who doesn't have Outlook or Microsoft 365 or FindTime. So I volunteered to use my FindTime tool to get consensus. Now let's talk about your calendar. So there are going to be two scenarios that you're going to book a meeting for. Number one, it's a one-on-one meeting. So for instance, if you decide, you and I decide we need to meet, I will email you a reply to your email and say, hey, I'd love to meet. Here is a poll. Let me know when you're available. So, and then once you have given me your information, your preferred dates and times that you can meet, then Outlook automatically schedules that meeting for me. As soon as you tell me what your preferred times are, it just gets scheduled. It's super cool. The other one is a one-to-many meeting. So if I am scheduling a meeting with 2 members of my team and then 3 people from an external client's office. So it might take a little bit more time for people to respond, but it is coming from my calendar, and I'm trying to get consensus from a group of 5 additional people besides myself. So that's a one-to-many meeting. From someone else's calendar, meaning you're collecting consensus, so it could be 2 or more people. So if I wasn't my assistant, so if I'm an assistant and I'm trying to get 2 leaders together, I would contact the other leader's assistant and find out and send them a poll and find out when that leader can meet, and then I will get the information. So just this information alone tells me that December 2nd at 11 a.m. Central is the best time for us to have our mastermind meeting, and that's what's going to happen when you use this scenario. So before I do the demo, I'm going to give you some benefits as well. But I want to let you know, when it's coming from your calendar, Outlook will place an auto hold on your calendar, and it will auto schedule. You can turn that off if you don't like it, but I love the fact it places a hold on my calendar and it auto schedules as soon as there's consensus. You would not use those 2 features if you're trying to get consensus for people that's not going to be on your calendar. So here are some of the things I need you to remember. This is a Microsoft 365 free add-in for Outlook. So if you're using Microsoft 365, but you're using Gmail, for instance, you're not using Outlook, you won't be able to use this. If you are using Outlook, but you're not on 365, let's say you're using Outlook 2016, you're not going to be able to use this. You have to be a Microsoft 365 subscriber, and you have to be using Outlook, and you have to go get the add-in. So I'll tell you how to find that. Secondly, the recipients do not need this. Nobody that's receiving your poll needs to have FindTime. You can even send it to a Gmail address, a Hotmail address, Yahoo address, any email address. The recipients do not need FindTime in order to use this poll. The sender must have Outlook 365. That's me reiterating the fact that you need to have Outlook 365. It's similar to a doodle poll. People ask me, like, is this like doodle poll? Like, yeah, it's just like a doodle poll, but it's integrated with Outlook so that it has the auto hold and auto schedule. So it is connected to Outlook and it is seamless. It is so cool. I'm going to show you how this works. And you can turn off the auto hold and auto schedule. So you would turn it off if you are trying to find consensus, but it's coming from somebody else's calendar. So you would do that. So I'm just going to go ahead and jump in and show you what it looks like. Let me move over to my fictitious email inbox, and I am going to go to this guy. So I am Dan Jump. This is the CEO of a fictitious company called Contoso, and Dan wants to meet with Vickie Sokol Evans. That happens to be me. So Dan is configuring this email, and it's one-on-one with Dan and Vickie regarding 2021 partnership goals. And hi, Vickie. Oops, let me zoom in. Hi, Vickie. Let's connect over the next few weeks. Whatever I want to say, okay? Then I would say, here's a poll. And then Dan. Okay, so I dropped this in here. Now you'll notice this is a new message. You could actually do this as a reply. So Dan could be replying to a message from me. That would work as well. You just have to be somewhere inside of an email message, and then you go over here to FindTime new meeting poll. Now you probably don't have this tool yet. I'll show you how to get that in just a second. So new meeting poll. So I'm going to go ahead and click here. So I want to make sure my cursor is exactly where I want the poll to go. And then I say new meeting poll. And what FindTime is going to do is going to look at my calendar, and Vickie's calendar. And we just so happen to be the same. We're in the same organization because Dan is a fictitious person. And so it's showing that my availability and his availability. Now, if I put somebody, let me just put a fake person at gmail.com, okay? So now I'm going to add another person. And let me close FindTime. I'm going to do Control K to accept that, and new meeting poll. Okay, perfect. So somebody outside your organization, you're going to see a little green person, okay? So what I'm going to do, how long are we going to meet, first of all? So let's say it's a 30-minute meeting. You have 45 minutes, 1 hour, and so on. So I'm going to say 30-minute meeting. It is going to be during work hours. If I knew this person was, if Dan knew that Vickie was out of the country, then we might change that to non-work hours, because maybe he's willing to get up early in the morning before work if I happen to be in Spain, for instance. So we're both in Central Time, so I'm going to say work hours. And we're going to start with Monday the 9th. And I can see my calendar. I might have my calendar over here. So I'm going to pick a couple of times. And I come over here to the 11th. And looks like I'm completely booked. I meaning Dan. So, and let's see. Actually, no, it is, I take that back. Dan is free. Do you see? Dan is completely free. It's Vickie who's not free. So that second person right there is in the to field. By the way, anyone in the CC field is an optional attendee, and FindTime will not wait on that person to vote in order to schedule the meeting. It will auto schedule the meeting when everybody in the to field has voted. So I want you to keep that in mind. So if this person really needs to be, we need to wait on that person, then we would put them in the to field. That's actually a fake email, so I'm not going to wait on that person. So I want to do the to field. fakeperson@gmail.com. I actually, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to do this. I have a feeling that might be a real address. So person at fake email, this will bounce back.com. Surely there's no domain called that. Person at fake email, this will bounce. Okay, now new meeting poll. Okay, I'm just going to pick a couple times here on the 10th, a couple of times. Now, these are times when both, that as long as we have availability, we're all available. Notice we don't know what the third person, if they're available or not. Here, let's say that I'm Dan. Let's say Vickie told me, oh, no, we can meet at 9. Don't worry about that. Let's go pick some of those date times. All right, that's this week. Let me go to next week. And let's go on the 17th. And I'm just going to pick some times. Let's go to the following week. Let's say I need to go to December. I'm going to switch over here to December. And I'm going to go back a couple weeks to the first week in December. So we'll go here and pick a few days. So I've got 10 times selected. I highly recommend giving people a lot of options. If you give someone just 2 or 3 options, there's a good chance they may not be able to make it, so you have to redo it. Okay, I'm going to say, oh, that's Pacific time and Central, and then I'll go ahead and hit next. Location, I'm going to do a Teams meeting. If you'd rather meet on Zoom, you can put your Zoom link in here and uncheck Teams meeting. And this right here, notify me about poll updates. Yeah, I want an email anytime someone gives their preference. Schedule when attendees reach consensus. Yes, that is auto schedule. Huge time saver. Hold selected times on my calendar. Yes. Place holds and lock poll for attendees. So this would mean like if they wanted to offer another suggestion. So I am going to lock it for them, and I'm going to say add to email. Okay, I'm done. Perfect. I'm going to hit send. Now that is going to bounce back, but what I want to do is I want to show you my calendar because Outlook has placed a hold. This is the auto hold. Isn't that awesome? And I just received an email from Dan Jump. And this is what it says. So it says you've received an invite. So I'm going to go ahead and select options. So I'm on my mobile device. So I'm able, remember how I said anyone that has a Gmail, Yahoo, doesn't matter. The recipients will receive this, what it looks like this. And so now I'm going to go ahead and say yes, and I'm going to say no, no, yes, yes. I'm going to say yes to about 3 of them, and then about 4 of them, no, no. And then I'm going to say vote. By the way, it tells me who the organizer is, and it also tells me who the required attendees and optional attendees. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and hit vote. Now watch my calendar, because in a second, all of the holds are going to disappear. Oh, look at that. The meeting was just scheduled on my phone. This is Vickie Evans on my phone. So the attendee voted me. It got sent to FindTime. FindTime released Dan's calendar, automatically sent a meeting request out, and accepted it, auto-accepted it. So the meeting is now scheduled. Isn't that awesome? So now obviously remember I had that fake person in the optional, and we didn't wait for that person to respond. So if you did need that person to respond, then you would make sure that that person was in the to field. Okay. In this next scenario, I am going to set up a meeting with other people. I'm not going to be involved in the meeting, but I just need to get the team to reach consensus on when they can meet. So looking at my screen, I'm composing this, Vickie Evans, to June and Colleen. Hey, can you meet with Dan Jump? And I'll go ahead and let's add Dan too. And so what I'm going to do is I need to set a meeting with you and Dan. What is your preferred time for the three of you to meet? And actually, I don't need to include Dan. So let's say he's the executive. I don't need to include Dan. I need to set up a meeting with you and Dan, or I could say I need to set up a meeting with your managers and Dan. What is the when can the three of them meet? So I'm going to say new meeting poll. And since I did the last scenario, I showed you just different options. I am just going to do a couple of days within the same time. I'm just going to do a couple of times within the next few days. So central work hours, so let's just say here. And what I've done was I've looked at Dan's calendar, and these are all the available times that Dan can meet. Okay, and now obviously I can go to the next week or next month. So these are all the dates and times that Dan can meet. So I'll click on next, and this I will say go ahead and do a Teams meeting. And actually, I don't need to set that up. None of this is necessary because I'm just getting consensus. I don't want Outlook to auto-schedule this. So definitely notify me when people update their poll. Do not schedule when there's consensus, and do not place a hold on my calendar. Definitely lock the poll for attendees, add to email, and then I would hit send. Now, that is the same scenario as this one where I sent out this poll to our mastermind group. I just sent it out to 10 attendees and asked them to vote. So I am going to show you how to send out reminders. So because there were a lot of people who hadn't checked their mail. So let me show you how to access your polls. Oh, first of all, okay, I will tell you how to get FindTime in just a second, but let me tell you how to access your polls. So your polls are all here on this page, and I have this bookmarked so that I can always go to my polls. So you can see open polls, completed, canceled, and expired. And so when I needed to send out a reminder for people to update their to answer the poll regarding our mastermind meeting, I would click on this hyperlink and it would take me to the poll. And I'll show you that in just a second. And here I see that when I sent a poll as a reply to someone else's email, they have not responded. So I'm going to cancel this poll. This is me, Vickie. This is mine behind the scenes. But now I'm going to look at Dan's dashboard. So here is Dan's dashboard. So you could see I've completed one. This is Dan. I remember Vickie, I went ahead and answered this poll. So I come over here and I can look at this and I can review what the poll looks like. So obviously this is shut down now. So I can't change it, but this is what it would look like if it was open. So if this was open and I needed to send a reminder, so let me show you what that looks like. There's an option right here. It says send reminder. So you would click here and it would send out the reminder to people who hadn't responded yet. This optional attendee, if I needed to make this person a required attendee, you would want to do that quickly because as soon as these required attendees voted, this person, then the meeting gets scheduled. The consensus is reached. So you would just click on that little edit tool here. Let me go ahead and send this to, this is a fictitious, hopefully they know. I'm just going to tell, this is a test. This is my team. So, oh, I'm sending that on behalf of me. So let me get my FindTime polls. Okay, this is Vickie's FindTime polls. So can you meet with Dan Jump? I just created that. There's 2 attendees. I can edit the poll. I can cancel the poll. If they haven't responded to my poll in a reasonable time, I can go ahead and send a reminder, which I've done before. If they went ahead and booked the meeting outside of this poll, I can go ahead and cancel this. If you ever need to manually book the meeting, you can always click on New Meeting. If you need to delete one of the times that was originally suggested, you could just click the delete one here. So as they vote, when Colleen votes, then we'll see her green or red indication here, and likewise with June. So that is it. Here, let me show you how to actually get FindTime. What you're going to do is you're going to go to, there's 2 ways you can do this. You can go to findtime.microsoft.com, or in Outlook, when you go to your inbox here, you can click on here, Get Add-ins. When you click on Get Add-ins, then you can search for FindTime. And then they'll have the add button there. So that's how you get the FindTime poll here within Outlook. So that is it, guys. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you in a class sometime soon. Take care.